What's going on, everybody? It is Luke here again, bringing you another video. Hope you're having a great day. So today we are going to be talking about VAT on reprices. Does it get it right? Is the estimated profits right? Before I jump into that, two things to remember is that very soon the fees on Amazon will change as of the 1st of April, I believe, somewhere. Anyway, if you want to check it out, it's on your main Seller Central. Just bear it in mind that it will be something that's going to happen. I think it's just go back over anyway. It's still something about fee changes coming in April 1st. So remember that something may change against your products that you list. Therefore, obviously, margins, profits, they're all going to change as well. So next thing we're going to jump right into is another thing that's on the news is the FBA export. Now, you may have seen, this is actually something I've seen in the groups as well. People have said, what is this new FBA export to worldwide? I think it's 80, as you can see here, 80 countries worldwide. What is, it says, it's an email that's come out, it's saying, you'll automatically be enrolled to this by a certain date, I believe it says. What is it? What's the VAT implications? What's this, that, and the other? Basically, if you actually read it, if you're doing a normal EFN network or FBA export, it's sort of the same thing. Not pan-European, so very different wording. Pan-European, FBA export, or EFN, European Fulfillment Network. But yeah, anyway. So the FBA export and European Fulfillment Network, basically the same thing. If you're already on that, you'll probably be on this. Yeah? So you'll probably have it set to 28 European states. So that's what the countries that people can buy off you. If you haven't got it, EFN, then you're losing out. I've seen many people from the Portuguese have bought from the UK because obviously a lot of these countries haven't got their own website, the Amazon website. They've only got really UK, France. They've only got the 5 main ones: Spain, Italy, France, Germany. So all the other countries have to actually buy. You would think Portugal, you would think some of these sort of bigger countries would have their own, but they don't. So they have to go and buy it off one of the others and get it shipped. And all this extra EFN or FBA export is literally just more countries. Nothing to it. And the reason that you can, have to think, oh, but is it? It's because it says quite clearly, anyone that sells internationally on the .co.uk website. So obviously, if you're selling in the UK exclusively, for example, then you would sell on Amazon.co.uk. So how would that then stop someone from a random country, let's say Mexico, buying it? I mean, I don't know if it stops you, or I don't know if, so let's say a country that doesn't have FBA, let's say Russia, maybe that's not a good example, but any country that hasn't, where do they go? Well, they could try. It might let them, it might not. I don't know how it works exactly, but a lot of countries can. So would you then have to go and register for VAT in all these countries that people are buying your product, but even though you don't know that they're going to buy it off you? Like, it's just a flip of a coin. Like, well, please don't. Hopefully they won't, but obviously no one can stop them. So you get from the point, so anything that's sent from the Amazon.co.uk, meaning it's from a UK fulfillment center, is done then across border, meaning it's not cross-border, meaning it's basically just not being sent to that country first to then sell. It's being long distance selling, meaning it's basically getting purchased from somewhere else, distance, and then getting delivered to the customer. So the customer's the one buying it from the designated country or the original country, rather than the other way around, where you're sending it to a country to sell in that country. Yeah. So most people, and another interesting thing is that they said you'll automatically be enrolled. Now, I do not think they would automatically enroll hundreds of thousands of accounts, which would then have to go and register for VAT. Because imagine the shit that they would get in. All these countries do, all these sellers that have done £1, 50 quid in sales. You're telling me that all of those are going to be like, it's just going to be okay for the government to be like, oh look, there's like 50,000 sellers. Or 100,000 sellers that are now in every country in Europe or the world or whatever. What I'm trying to get at. It's not It's not really legal just to add you in without your consent to something that has legal consequences or obligations. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to jump into the repricer now. I've jumped in to my repricer on BQool, and I've just jumped into an old listing so you can see it. I can show you it without having to hide the product. Okay, so an old item I used to sell. Now, I used to be flat rate on the flat rate scheme for Amazon for VAT. So I used to sell. It was the first year at 6.5% flat, meaning you can't reclaim anything. You just pay a fixed amount. Then I moved on to, after a year, it goes up to the 7.5. Now, after going to and fro, trying to figure out the best way to manage profits and all that, I then swapped to the standard. So originally, I would just obviously type in the cost of the product, go over to here, click this little calculator, type in. It should have it. Yeah, well, it doesn't. It keeps getting to 7. Type in the 7.5 or whatever your percentage is. Click the little refresh, and it'll come out here. Yeah. So you would basically figure out what your min was, including this VAT. But because you're on a flat rate, you literally just pay that on top. So you take that much off the top with a knife, pay that as VAT, and you get the leftovers. So if that was 0, obviously this would not be 37p here. It would be 0. You get 78p profit. As soon as you have to register VAT, you now have to. You don't get 73p profit. It takes off the extra, and then gives you the profit. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Which is fine. So it's very easy. It's very easy just to add that in as and when, and you can. It might not be to the exact penny, but it's going to be within a couple of pence. Yeah, 1p usually it's either side of 1p on these three prices because it pulls through from all of the Amazon Seller Central and stuff like that. Great. So that's nice and easy. You can and you can. There is a setting up here. But then I obviously changed my VAT, and I then obviously couldn't. So I changed my VAT, and now I'm on standard flat rate. So I paid 20%. Okay, so now I can't go off this 7%. Now obviously with this product, it's going to look like I lose money. Okay, so you refresh, you'd be like, oh look, now it's even higher. I lose even more, or I don't make any. But that's not everything, is it? Because you still got to reclaim the VAT on the purchase. So you obviously would have purchased this product at £1.74, let's say. So how is this repricing taking into account the VAT you're reclaiming? So if we jump to a VAT calculator, let's say it's £1.74. You remove the VAT because every product you buy has VAT unless it's 5% or 0%, which there are a lot of grocery products and various things are different percentages, but most of the normal most things in life are 20%, and groceries are normally 0, and then there's a couple of other bits here, there, and everywhere that are 5. But you can see there's 29p that actually is not in here. It's not being represented. So this profit's not correct. It's saying I'm losing 5p, but it's not taking into consideration. I'm actually reclaiming 29p because that's the whole reason for the VAT 20% standard. You can reclaim the VAT on everything and expenses and all that and all your products, and then you got to pay it out. So so you don't just pay flat 20% because obviously then why would anyone do that? Not just down to 7.5, yeah, because it's actually lower. But it's because you can now get the ability to reclaim. So I'm reclaiming off all the purchases, and if this product had 0, it does not have VAT in it, I would then not pay VAT because if I haven't received VAT for it, I then don't charge the VAT on. There's nowhere to charge it on because it doesn't exist. So that's what happens when it's 0%. If a person buys this item, the item price they're paying is the full item price and does not include any VAT. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not going to go into this as a VAT example or whatever. I'm just trying to get rough understanding of the principle. So where it's actually saying that, it's saying I lost 5p, but really you need to basically have 29p that I'm making 29p off the product or gaining back or claiming back, and then I'm losing 5p on the product sale. So the difference is 24p. So I actually make 24 pence on this because obviously you're losing 5 and then I'm claiming back every quarter 29. So what's the difference? I've actually made overall 24p. So it doesn't give you the correct representation. Obviously, this is only tiny values, but if we're talking about higher values, let's say this is a $24.99 product, and I'm selling it for 50. Let's say it's going for 43.99. Right, and let's just run this. That really didn't do it. 43.99. There we go. That's gonna do it. Yeah, it's giving me some silly percentages. I don't really know why. Product cost is still at some silly price. You know, obviously on the small values, it looks like, well, you wouldn't sell it because you're making 24p. On the slightly higher values, now it looks like you're making a 13% return at £3.35. Now that doesn't look like a good product. Yeah, if you're just going off these numbers, because you have to pay the 20%. Well, okay, we haven't. Where's that reclaimed VAT on the $24.99? So how much is it? Just to make sure we're getting it correct. How much are we reclaiming? We're actually reclaiming £4.16. Okay, £4.16. Now there's no way I can really add it in, but you can see you're making £4.16 plus £3.35 now. Yeah, see, £4.16, £3.35. You're actually making £7.51. Well, that's going to at least be around 30%, 28, 29. But you are making £7.50 profit now off of this product. Well, that's a massive difference. Yeah, that's a huge difference. Like, that could be the difference between, are you going to be buying this product or not? You know, or are you underpricing or overpricing your min and max because you know, do you get, oh my god, maybe I bought a wrong product, and why have I bought that product? You know, but you got it. But it's not. No, I went to the people or whatever, the help desk, and said, where do you basically, where is your input and output VAT shown on a data line or data entry, which is this whole line you can see here, this thing. Where do you basically accommodate it? Because you're not doing both sides, and they can't. Well, they probably can, because it's really simple. Because obviously all the behind the scenes calculation you've got to do is find out what 20% of that is and add it back in to your estimated profit. Now maybe it's not good to add it into profit because you haven't yet claimed the money back. But when you go to do your VAT, you don't pay your VAT first and then claim it back. Yeah, you do it all at the same time. So if you're paying out this in VAT, let's say today it's VAT day, you're going to pay out that in, let's say you put it in one box, paying out $7.33, because it said this is the only product you ever sold in the whole month, a whole quarter of VAT return. You type in you put $7.33 in what you got to pay, and then you would actually type in, I've got to I'm reclaiming £4.16. Okay. Well, the difference on those two, if I'm paying you $7.33, but you're paying me £4.16, why would we do that and not say, you just give me the difference? What's the point of me giving you a tenner to you then have to give me back, you know, like £11 or something? Yeah. Why wouldn't I just give you the quid? Or why wouldn't he just give me the quid? Whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. It doesn't take any rocket science, if you know what I mean. So all you end up doing in that VAT return is just netting the difference and then paying what is owed, or if it's not owed, what is, you then basically put a claim in to say that they owe you in a way. So you pay the difference. So actually, it needs to be represented in here, because it's not like you pay out this VAT before you claim it. Therefore, actually, at point of sale, you actually are only making £3.35, because you're not, because it's all accumulated for every month or every quarter, however often you do your returns. And then it's just the net difference between the whole sum, input and output. Input meaning, does that input meaning what you basically, if I buy £100 worth of stuff, all that VAT that's in those items is my input, is coming to me. I don't know, maybe it means that, maybe it doesn't. Input to me, and then all the output is everything I'm paying out, or everything that I'm, whatever, it doesn't really matter. More the principle. Obviously, this is not financial advice, and I don't really think I've given any financial advice apart from just talk crap for about 10 minutes already. So, you know what I'm saying. I've heard people say that I'm giving financial advice apparently, but yeah, just because I'm talking about a subject doesn't really mean I'm giving financial advice. Like, it's like it's taboo to talk about anything that like coulda, shoulda, woulda. But anyway, so then I thought, well, that means anyone that's VAT registered basically getting wrong data. So is it worth not even using this? Like telling everyone that uses it, just move somewhere else unless you're on the flat rate or not registered for VAT. And they were saying, go in here and set it all to 20% in general or something. And then set it here on at 20%. And then every item will automatically calculate you at 20%. And then you'd at least have to type in 20% here. Then I started saying, well, what about if the product's 5% or 0%? How can I then change that? Well, you can't. There's only one fixed VAT rate, which is a bit bizarre, because if you're going to go create a program like BQool, you would clearly factor in all the variables and not just think, sod it, we'll leave all that stuff and just do the main stuff, because how are you having a full 360 working program? But anyway, so the only way I've actually managed to do it, in case you are wondering what the hell I'm going to do, am I going to run off and delete this and move somewhere else or whatever, is what you've actually got to do is you've got to, I'm basically manually inputting the VAT. If it's 5%, 5. If it's 0, 0. If it's 20, 20. Yeah, on every other. I mean, I always did that anyway. I used to put 7.5 there. And then what I'm having to do is I'm having to manually take off of this. So this VAT calculation will only ever use the sell price, because it's only taking in, VAT is only calculated on the sale price. So it's irrelevant what this real cost price is. The only reason that cost price comes up is, well, you need to put it in, is just to give you a profit. So what you got to do is, if it was £24.99, this is what I did. It only took about 45 minutes. Pretty simple. Is bang that in here, remove the VAT. So in that, you've obviously got £4.16 VAT, haven't you? Yeah. So really, the price that you need to represent in this sum or this entry is only that. And then it will give you, the profit should end up being about what we said. Let's add in here 20%. What was it, £7 something? Maybe. So yeah, we are, 751. Now look at the ROI, 36%. Okay, well suddenly it's gone from 13% to 36%. So it's not a bad buy. It's just because the system is misrepresenting the information and not providing you with efficient calculations, I guess. So that is the best way that I managed to do it. And the good thing about doing it this way is that, yeah, you do have to go through every entry, which doesn't take that long really, as long as you just, because once you get into a click, boom, 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 you know, you get into one of those things. It's just doing one every half a second, churn them out. But you also can check, you know, if you get used to that, then you can then tailor each one depending on the VAT. So, you know, on some, let's think on like, if you've got some cereals, I think. Yeah, because I've been looking over the grocery receipts to see what's charged at VAT or 0 or standard or whatever. But some cereals, you know, there's no VAT, so you just do that and you put the full price, because you're the full price because there's no VAT in that product when you're buying it, and then because there's no VAT in that product, and you're charging, when you make a sale on Amazon, you're charging 0% VAT. You would therefore enter 0%. And then you know that both parts are correct, and then the representation down here is more accurate than is if it was just doing half of the equation, yeah? So I would not use that unless you know you're only using the 20% rule, and then double check it, and then make sure you just enter here the bit without the VAT. Yeah, that isn't the cost price, but you're more using this as a repricer, that's what it's for, to make sure that if your bottom line is 30% return on investment, then it is actually calculating it to 30% return on investment, not a fake 30%, which you believe is 30, but it's actually not. Yeah, because then, you know, yes, it's giving you a lower ROI here, which is a good. You would rather have a lower ROI than a higher ROI, because you might be thinking you're making loads of profit, and then you don't. It's better to make. It's better to have that at 13%, thinking you're making less profit, and then make more. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say? Because if you're expecting to make all this money, and then you do calculations, you're like, where's all my money gone? And you don't even realize this is why, because it's saying 50%, 57%, but it's, or 157%, but it's actually not, because it's not working properly. So you'd rather do it the other way, and then be like, oh, pleasantly surprised. Because if you've got to rely on it for wages and all that, you know, and expenses, and you're gonna pay staff, you'd really be surprised and have the higher amount. But this doesn't. It's not good to be work. You know, it's not a good system to work like this. There is a workaround which I went over, and maybe I've rushed my explanation of it, maybe not. But it's just weird that they wouldn't have added in these really basic things. These aren't even very like 5%, 0%, and 20%. That's like it's the standard VAT rates for products across the whole of the United Kingdom. Like, why would you just negate? Is that right? Is that the right word? Negate? Or, yeah, negate, not negate. But negate half. Is that even that's right? Half of the stuff. It's just bizarre. But anyway, I figured it out and I checked with them. So you just would do exactly what I've just done here, and that will then give you the correct representation. Just a bit bizarre. Again, not financial advice, because I know people have watched this and said be careful and stuff, but to me this is not financial advice, because I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm saying what I'm doing and how to, basically all I'm telling you what to do is how to get this bit here correct, actually. How to actually get the correct readings. That's all I'm actually telling you what to do. I'm not telling, just because I'm typing a 7 or a 20 doesn't really, just numbers, isn't it? But again, yeah, not financial advice. So I guess I'm going to be saying that next 15 times per video every time I talk about anything. So yeah, so the one thing I am going to be checking out anyway, cut to the chase, is this is a EU Essentials Amazon repricer for EU sellers. Now I think EU sellers, what does that mean? It actually means across all of Europe, even though the United Kingdom's leaving Europe, so I don't know exactly. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. For me, it sounds like it's only in Europe, because the UK to me is not Europe as such, because we're not part of that Europe conglomerate of countries that you can't really tell the difference where one country starts and ends, that sort of thing. And we're going to be leaving, apparently. I don't know if even that's going to happen, but So, but still, if you want to check it out, well, I'm going to be doing a test on it. When I get back, I'm going to Bratislava on Friday morning, getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm back on basically Tuesday morning early. So I will be looking at that next week, probably later on in the week, and testing it out first, and then reviewing it, and I can bring you basically how it is as a product, a service. It's very, very similar to BQool, or probably Reprice for Express. It looks very similar to this, which is cool because it has all the different countries on one screen, rather than like most platforms are splitting them in different, It gives you some other data, but you can find a lot of this. Like BQool has very similar sort of bits and bobs like this. This is interesting. But the cool bit, it has some quite cool bits. So I want to investigate further. The European sales tab basically gives you a little heads up display of the day-to-day and weeks, months operations, if you're doing well or not. But the pricing is very good, a competitive price. So if we look for the pricing, it's not there. Here we go. So most people will probably be on this one, yeah. And what I do periodically, again, I delete old listings so that the system doesn't think I've got more listings than I do. That sort of thing. But it does all the European marketplaces. Now I pay for BQool just on the UK about £50 to £16 a month just for the UK, because I doled it all down for Q1 and I'm going to pick it back up. But this is only a couple of quid more, and it does all of European marketplaces, which is amazing because, it's only $10, $15 per actual marketplace, but it's 4. And what if 1 or 2 don't do anything, and then all that sort of thing. But with this, it's basically 20 quid for everything would be, great, even if it did not have all the technical side of some of the bits that BQool does, because really, if you're using something like SELLERBOARD, which is only 15 quid a month, which is, I love it, I think it's great. That's after sales care in a way, so it's like all your analytics, sales data for all your marketplaces. It's basically dedicated to that rather than adding it into it on top of a repricer, which is what BQool's doing. So you get to see like top sellers and all that sort of thing, which is good, but I'd rather have a dedicated system for that, which is built for the reason, rather than have it as an addition, because sometimes I feel when you add on to it, it doesn't really, it does the job, but it's always good to have something that they know that's their USP, that's their unique selling point, and that is what they want to do pushing forward. So with this, it's only a little bit more, but it does all marketplaces, and hopefully this is going to be just as good as BQool, because really it's a repricer. That is what you want it to do, and you want it to work well. And really, you would rather take a little bit less on the data side, maybe use SELLERBOARD instead, but have exposure to all marketplaces for basically the same cost. I pay £15.61 or something this month, because it's in dollars. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that, and I can tell you if it's worth jumping across onto this or not. And you get the 14-day free trial, but I say just wait until I've done the review. just to see, because I want to see how good or bad it really is. I don't know until I try. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. You've got a little insight into that, because it could be something that you're doing and thinking, crap, I need to act now. And it's not making you lose money as such. It's just giving you skewed data, which is making you do different decisions. Your decision making is changing because of the data it's showing you, which is sort of not great. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Any questions, let me know, because I do rush through these videos sometimes. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next video.